Alright, so what's going on, guys? My name is David, and today I'm going to be showing you around my 1990 Mazda Miata. It's a 1.6 liter turbocharged by myself in my driveway, which is probably not a good idea, to be honest, especially since it's my daily driver. I mean, I'm just a high school student, 17-year-old, just going to school, and I love cars, so I built this thing. Yeah, so these engines really cope well with being turbocharged. I'm running 7 pounds of boost, and it seems to be running just fine. Obviously, plenty more power, and honestly, it wasn't that difficult to do. So I turbocharged this thing for about $600, dirt cheap off eBay and Amazon. Honestly, all the parts are holding up pretty well. I feel like parts off eBay and Amazon, stuff like that, get a bad rep, but honestly, these parts are doing just as well as I'm sure any name brand stuff would do. So yeah, a project like this isn't that difficult. It's just time consuming and you have to know what you're doing. But with a little bit of research, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm making this video to show you guys a little bit about how I built this thing, and hopefully it can help you guys, because I know that there's a lot of information out there, and it's kind of difficult to, do I need this part or do I need this part? What about my fuel? What about how much boost I can run? How much all this other stuff. So I'm gonna just show you guys what I did and what worked for me. Maybe it won't work for everybody, but I did it dirt cheap in my driveway again. So I'm just a high school student, definitely not a trained mechanic or anything. So don't expect me to know everything, because I sure don't. But if you guys have any questions, you guys can sure let me know. Yeah, let's take a look at it, guys. Okay, guys, so we'll take a look at the interior here first. Nothing too crazy, just the steering wheel. It's manual, obviously, and that's my backpack, just got back from school. But just some accents on the vents and stuff. But that's pretty much it. Just got a boost gauge. Should probably have an air fuel gauge, but didn't really afford that. Probably gonna buy one later, but I haven't yet. Car hasn't exploded yet, so that's good. I recommend you do get one though, because you do need to take a look at your air fuel ratios and stuff. Make sure you're not running too lean, because that will damage the engine. So I just hooked up the colors with this USB. I just stick it in there, and it turns on, but I didn't really bother hooking it up to the actual wires underneath the steering wheel column. But that's pretty much the interior. Aftermarket seats, those were a pain in the ass to get in, but we got those in. But yeah, let's take a look at what we actually care about. Alright guys, so here it is. Again, 1.6 liter. The engine's completely stock.
Alright guys, we'll do some really heavy wind. I'm gonna just redo this with a voiceover here. So here's the things you're gonna need. Obviously a turbo, the turbo headers, the turbo downpipe, and then I had that custom made, so you probably won't have that. But then an FMU and a boost gauge. FMU is just gonna manage your fuel. It's the first thing we're gonna put on here. So here it is. It's gonna intersect the fuel return, and it's just gonna restrict it so that there's higher pressure in the fuel injectors, and then that way you're getting more fuel when you're under boost. You'll also connect it to the vacuum line so that it knows how much boost you're running. So then you're gonna just hook up your exhaust parts. So your headers are gonna go where your old headers went. It's just gonna be the turbo header, and then so you're gonna want to drill the oil pan. This is a part that scares a lot of people, but not too difficult. It is something that you have to be very careful with. I messed it up twice. This is how it should look. This is credit from Mighty Car Mods. This is what I had to refer to, because it was the only oil, drilling hole that I could find online that looked that was to my application, right? So that's, you can see the how it was tapped, and then here's the oil inlet tubing or piping or whatever you want to call it. This will lead to the turbo from the side of the engine block. That fitting was actually pretty hard to find, but there's a place called Stewart Hoses over here by where I live in Fort Worth. That's what the turbo finally put on the headers, and then now we're hooking up all the turbo piping. So this stuff was like $15 a piece for the elbows. off Amazon. And then there's just a little piece of metal in there that I got from O'Reilly. They have a lot of exhaust tubing and stuff and different sizes, and it really worked well. And this is what you do not want to do. I actually attempted this turbo build earlier on, and I used some PVC, and that was a terrible idea, guys. Do not do that. It just melted all up, and obviously, so here's the blow-off valve. You're going to connect that where the old little elbow went into the air box, and you're going to hook that up with some radiator hose, and it works really well. Next, you're going to do the boost gauge, as you can see, and I mean, that's literally it. This is running without an intercooler, so I mean, it's as simple as that.